Okay, so I got the hips up and down. I'm pretty happy with right now. That's decent. Next thing I'm going to move on to is just cleaning up the feet. And I'm going to start first by making some adjustments here. So I'm going to go to the heel toe. For the contact pose, I like to have the heel strike first. The back position, you could probably reduce this a little. So it's not, the back leg should feel a little bit straight. It should feel like it's pushing. Okay. So I'm just going to make sure I key those. Good. Okay. Let's go to the next key. So we have this. Now, this position here, what I would do here is I would probably get rid of the heel toe altogether for right now. Zero that out. And then, oops, let me zero. What am I doing? There. And then I would put this thing flat on the ground again. And no rotation. And I just want to see with this thing, can I still make a connection? There we go. So I don't need to actually take that off the ground yet, but the back foot's not moving enough, right? So if I look at this in a side view, it needs to match what's going on here, right? So that when I look at the distance from the heel to the toe, something like about there, that feels pretty good. And then I need to use the heel toe to kind of relax the leg a little. And sometimes it's really finicky to use the middle mouse button and get this right. So I would just go in the graph editor here and just move this up and down, and just hopefully it will actually update. Yeah, turn on auto key here. There we go. No, got to do it here. There, right around there. Okay, that's looking better. So we have that. I want to make sure the legs feel like they're both moving. I also need to check the hip that there's no forward and back. Nope, nice and flat. It's not going forward, back. That's good. And then with this foot, this is the one that hit the ground. So this is the front position and the back position, like I was talking about when I was mentioning in some of the feedback. This should be a straight line. And I need to make sure that frame one, if I fixed frame one, I have to make sure that's the same as 25. So I got to go frame one, copy the 25, hit S. Does that work? 125. Good. Okay. So I'm just trying to clean up this one foot, and that's working okay. Sometimes if you get, yeah, this is really useful to show. This is an annoying thing that happens where if you look at where, maybe this is easier to see with wireframe unshaded. Yeah. If you look at where the knee is, you'll see that there is movement. You see how the knee's moving. And then there's a couple of frames where it doesn't move and all of a sudden it moves back, right? So this is causing some weirdness, and it's because we're using IK, and all these things are working together to make the shape of the leg. So here, what I'm literally doing is I'm going to go frame by frame to kind of animate the knee and say at this point, I'm getting a locked leg, which is going to cause the knee popping that I was mentioning, right? The knee's going to sort of snap straight. And if I'm already at the limit, it looks like the foot's being pulled off of the ground. I'm pulling the hip up too high. So what I have to do is go in here and just sort of bring this down. Oops, bring it down there, just to make sure I see a slight bend. Right there, okay. And then right here, the problem, the heel toe is being activated too soon. So that point there, I'm going to use that to kind of tighten the leg up so that it stays just a little bit bent. It's always really so sensitive. Just trying to get that sweet spot where just get that knee to keep moving back. And again, here, move that back, keep that tension in the leg. Same thing here, it's breaking too much. There, now it needs to be more. There. Better. And then right here, there's a huge kick. The knee just jumps forward. That's because a lot of things are changing. So here, what I might experiment with is, okay, let's back off that heel toe a little bit. And I probably need to actually move the foot back a little more. So it kind of just rolls off the ground a little more gracefully. And then here, it's being dragged up by the heel toe. So I just want that to kind of roll forward. And then from here, right, a couple of things I could do is I could adjust this and bring it more forward and then rotate it down, right? So that it doesn't move back as far. Yeah, there. So a little bit of a bounce in here. Yeah, right there. I'm not a huge fan of that. I don't like it when the heel goes up and then down at the end. It feels a little off to me. I don't like that. So what I would do here is look and see, well, do I need that to be here? Is that the right value? Can I maybe drop this down? Just so the heel doesn't do this weird double bounce. And maybe here, that should be up a little more. There. Yeah, a little better. Bugs me right here. So there, I think that needs to be up more. So I'm going to have to live with that. Now I'm just going to delete the computer roll. Okay. Better. Now, when the foot hits the ground at the front position, I usually like to have this thing zero out a little faster. So it doesn't take 3 frames, just like 2 frames to get a really good clomp, right? If you're animating somebody with really big combat boots, the last thing you want to do is destroy the weight by having the foot just gracefully go to the ground, right? It feels really off. So that foot just clomps to the ground there. And last thing I would do to check it is throw on a motion trail. So I got my motion trail on, make sure I can see it. Image trails, motion trails, there. And they didn't turn on. That's weird. Ah, there they did. And then you have a look here and see, yeah, the arcs on this thing look a little rough. Go and sort of auto tangent this and just see what I can do to fix this. So here I could put in another point and move the foot up a little bit more. I could move this one down and make this one the high point, sort of play around with it. And same thing here, the spacing. If I look at, this is going forward, right? So we kick forward really quickly, 1, 2, 3 frames. I would look at it at speed and see, does it feel like I'm yanking the foot off the back position a little quickly? You could always try to spline this side and move that a little closer. And then same thing over here. So it's straight on the way back and then a spline on the way forward. Right here, again, not a big fan of that. That feels a little bit weird. And I would like to have a bit more of a drop so that the foot has a bit more weight. So I'm just going to do by eye here. Sort of like, yeah, there. Yay. So what I'll do here, because we got cycling, I'm going to grab this foot and I'm just going to copy the whole thing, all the animation for that foot. And then I'm going to go to the other side and I'm just going to delete all the animation. Let's do a little increment and save here. So there's nothing but a key at frame 1. And I'm going to go paste. Okay. Now, one of the problems with this rig is that this rig, it's called heel toe, and this one, it's called hell toe. So it's very painful to get that to copy and paste. So what I have to do is manually do that and go here. Here's the heel toe, copy that, and then go to the hell toe. See, nothing pasted. Go in here and go edit paste. And now the feet should be doing exactly the same thing in exactly the same place. The only thing that will be different, of course, is that this one is now going the wrong way in the front view. Its X value, I have to flip. So I'll just go, there. Okay, so this may not seem like an improvement, but now I've gotten 2 feet done for the price of 1. And all I have to do with this one is offset it. So I can just take all of the animation, right, for this foot that's in the wrong place, and it just needs to be offset by half a cycle. So if you know how long the cycle is, 24 frames, what's half of 24? And just make sure I go curves, pre-infinity, cycle, curves, post-infinity, cycle. Here we go. So 1 foot, its frame range is not covering, it's not covering the whole thing, because half of the cycle is actually over here. It's like in a negative frame range. So that's a little bit annoying to edit when everything else is from 1 to 24, and then you got a bunch of frames over here in the negative. You could leave it like this. It's no big deal if you wanted to, but I would rather fill the gap here. And the way to do that is if I roll this back, then I can find out where the very first frame is of that cycle that I know that, okay, there it is. I'm just going to roll that back one more. There we go. This is one complete cycle of the foot. But that one cycle doesn't cover to 24. It only covers to 13. So if I just go and copy this whole thing and then paste it at the end, now I have 2 steps. And 2 steps are big enough to cover 24 frames. I can slide it around. And now I know that I have keys from frame 1 all the way to 25, and it will work. And then everything that is sort of off screen now, I could just delete. I don't need this. Right. So this is the problem when you offset keys is that sometimes you have to slide stuff to negative frames or further downstream, and then the keys are not in the right place. They're not lined up from 1 to 25. They're in a different time frame. And that can be very confusing, especially when you're new. So what I do is instead of having just one copy that's in a negative frame or way ahead, I'll just use two copies and just slide it around till I get it to work, and then hack off the stuff I don't need anymore. So it all lines up and it fits properly. So now we got the feet working. I just need to make sure frame 1 is my starting point. Don't want to go all the way to frame -11. So there, I just got the other side of the body for free, right? Clean up one side, paste it the other side, mirror it, offset, and then hopefully it'll work. And then the rest of the body would work exactly the same. If I'm going to clean up the arms, I'm going to clean up one, select it all, copy paste to the other side, offset, and then get it to work.